Okay, then example number, and then assignment number 2, what you're going to do, this is into the new unit, okay? I'm not going to give a test. That we'll deal with that test when we get back. This is just a review, okay? Now, here's onto the new unit, okay? Assignment 2. Simplify, okay? So the examples. Okay, you've got x to the second plus x minus 2 divided by x to the second plus 2x times 2x to the second plus 2x divided by 5x to the second minus 15x plus 10. Okay? Okay, what is a multiplication problem? There are 3 steps to this, okay? So, and you're probably going to need split the paper in half. We can only probably do 2 problems per page. What I want you to do first is rip off about 3 pieces of scratch paper. You're going to need it. Okay, 3 pages that you can throw away after you're done. Okay, so here's what we need to do. First off, what you need to do is count how many terms there are in each expression. This has 3, this has 2, 2, and 3. So they're all polynomials. So parenthesize polynomials. And there's 3 steps to this. A 1, a 2, and a 3. Okay? What you do first is combine it into one fraction. First off, you can do that in multiplication. And you go off to a piece of scratch paper and you factor like crazy. You're going to go x to the second plus x minus 2. Okay? Now, there's 3 terms. That would be the GCF and the T. However, the GCF is just 1, and you wouldn't have an x because the 1 on the end doesn't have an x. So 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. So I want to add to get to positive 1. So having a negative means it's a positive times a negative, 1 and 2. Okay, that's negative 1. To make it positive 1, we just go plus, minus, and we have it. Now the a up there is 1, okay? So if it's 1, we can just get rid of it, and it's just 2 parentheses, okay? X minus 1, x plus 2. Okay, and that goes on top because that first I want to do my tops first, okay? That is on top, okay? So x minus 1, I rewrite that as 2 parentheses, x minus 1, x plus 2. Okay, then we got 2x to the second power plus 2x. That's 2 terms, so that would be doing a GCF and then seeing if I have a difference of perfect squares. Okay, GCF would be 2, and I would take the final x, so I would factor out 2x. And those x's at the end cancel. The 2's do not, that would be 1. So that's going to be 1x plus 1. That's not a DOPS, okay? And also, if you want to also do another thing on one of the papers, write your perfect squares down. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144. Okay, DOPS, nope, it's not. So what you need to do, parenthesize that. No, don't parenthesize the 2x, I'm sorry. Okay, keep that outside. You write 2x, parentheses, 1x plus 1. 2x. Actually, don't put the 1 in front of the x. Go 2x, parentheses, x plus 1. So now your top's done. Now you have to do the bottom, okay? X second plus 2x. That's 2 terms. So I would do a GCF, and then I would see if I have a DOPS. GCF 1 and 2 would be 1, but we would have an x with it, so I would factor a 1x out. So that'd be 1x plus 2. Again, not a DOPS because it's not even, the x isn't even to a power, okay? It's the first power, but odd powers cannot work as DOPS. So that'd be 1x, and then now we're down here, okay? So 1x parentheses x plus 2, okay? Now finally we have 5x to the second minus 5x plus 10. 15x, sorry. So that's 3 terms, so that would be GCF. And then I set up my t-table. Okay, 5, 15, and 10, the GCF's 5. Okay, if you need a multiplication chart, Google one online. Okay, look, 5, 15, and 10 are on the 5th row. Okay, so I divide all these by 5. So that's going to be 1x to the second minus 3x plus 2. Then I factor this, ABC. 1 times 2 is 2 positive, so it's a positive, so it'd be negative, negative. So we're adding to get to negative 3, okay? 1 and 2, right there, that does it, negative 3. Okay, now my A is 1, so that's good. I can ditch the 1 and just make 2 parentheses with x minus 1, x minus 2. Now don't forget about the 5. You have to pull your 5 down. So you need to replace this expression on the bottom with 5 parentheses x minus 1 parentheses x minus 2. Okay, so the x minus, now here's what we do now. We're actually going to jump down to step 3. All common parentheses on top to bottom can cancel, so that's gone, that's gone. X plus 2, that's gone, that's gone. These two stay, so I'm going to have a factor of x plus 1 on top and x minus 2 on bottom. Now, after you write them down, you can cross them off. Now, you need to simplify the outer terms. You have a 2x here, and down here you're going to take 1x times 5. That would be 5x. Now, 2/5 doesn't reduce. That'll stay 2/5, but the x's would cancel. And I would have 2 here and 5 here, and that's the answer. Okay, these do take a while, I will admit. Okay, here's my next one. We've got 5x over 2x to the power of 3 minus 17x to the power of 2 minus 9x. Times, by the way, if it ever says divide, you switch it to times and you just flip the second one, the one after the dividing around, okay? I think these are all times, but if ever somebody would put divided by, you just flip the second one and you do everything else the same. So 20, or no, don't flip that one. 4x to the third minus 20x minus 144 and then 20. Okay, 5x is just one term. There's no plus or minus signs, okay? So we don't put one term in parentheses. Actually, if it's just one term, we're just going to bring it over. Okay, this is 3 terms, so 3. So I'll parenthesize that. I need to try to factor that. This is 3, 1, 2, 3 terms. I need to try to factor that. And 20 is just one term, so I just bring the 20 over. Now I need to try to factor the 4x to the power of 3 minus 20x to the, did I do that? No, x to the second, my bad, that's second. Second minus 20x minus 144. So 3 terms, GCF and table. Okay, 420 and 144. Well, let's try 4. Let's just see if these all divide by 4. If not, let's try 2. 20 divided by 4 works. 144 divided by 4, that works. So let's go with 4. Just 4 though, not 4x. So I factor out 4. And the result I have is 1x to the second minus 5x minus 36. Don't forget, actually put the 4 down here so you don't forget it. So 1 times negative 36 is negative 36. So that's a positive times negative whenever it's negative like that. And we're adding to try to get to negative 5. Nope. 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 Divide by 4, get 9. Cha-ching. A is 1, okay, so you can get rid of the 1 and just make 2 parentheses with x plus 4 and x minus 9. So here's what I write, and that's on top. That came, you got to pay attention whether that was on top or bottom. This was on top, so this is on top. So times 4, and then parentheses x plus 4, x minus 9, okay? Then we'll have to factor this, the 2x to the third minus 17x to the second minus 9x, okay? So that's a GCFT because there's 3 terms. Okay, 2, 17, and 9, those would only be in the first row. It would be 1, but you need 1x because there's an x at the end that we need to factor out. So that's going to be 2x to the second now minus 17x minus 9, okay? So A, B, C. By the way, bring your 1x down. That doesn't just go away. So that's going to be negative 18, so it's a positive times a negative, and we're adding to try to get to negative 17. There we go, okay? Now, A is 2. You can't just get rid of a 2, so what do? You make 2 sets of parentheses, okay? You go 2x, 2x, because you will get that down, plus 1 minus 18. So that stays the same. Yeah, if that's a 2, you can't just get rid of it, okay? 1 you can. Divide by 2 here, and you get x, or 1x minus 9. So that right there, the original was on bottom, so my factored form now is on bottom. So times 1x, parentheses 2x plus 1, parentheses x minus 9. Okay, now what parentheses? Well, we can get rid of these two, but not these two. So I'm still going to have a factor of x plus 4 in my product, and a factor of 2x plus 1 in my product. Then outside, up here, 5x times 4 is 20x. 20 times 1x is 20x. The x's cancel, and so can your 20s. Okay, so that's what we're going to have there. All right, next up. Okay, on the next problem, we have 3x to the second minus 12 over x minus 2, and then 2x second minus 1x minus 6, 2x second plus 7x plus 6. Again, when I'm multiplying, it's kind of split into 3 steps off this side. That has 2 terms. These are all 3 terms. More than 1, you need to parenthesize it. 2 and 3. Okay, so we need to check all of those expressions and see if I can rewrite them in factored form. Okay, so 3x to the power of 2 minus 12. I'll do the tops first. These two I'll do first because I'll rewrite them on top. I'll rewrite those on bottom. Okay, 2 terms, GCF and dots. Difference of perfect squares. Okay, 3 and 12, use multiplication chart. You'd see they're in the 3rd row. Okay, it wouldn't have an x because 12 doesn't have an x, so it'd just be 3. So drop that 3 down, just in case. Get rid of that. That's going to be, it's 1, but 1x to the second minus 4. Ditch the 1, okay? Now we know x, it's x times x. We have a minus, and it's 2 times 2, okay? X, 2, 2. So that's what I want to rewrite on top. 3 parentheses x plus 2 parentheses x minus 2. Okay, then also we got the 2x to the second minus 1x minus 6. So that's 3 terms. So GCF and table. Okay, 2, 1, and 6 is 1. It wouldn't have x, so we don't need to worry about GCF. 2 times negative 6, negative 12. So that's a positive times a negative. We're trying to add to get to negative 1. 1 and 12 doesn't do that. 2 and 6 doesn't do it. 3 and 4, yep, that does it. Now A, what's your A? Your A is a 2. You can't just get rid of a 2. To deal with the 2x squared, you make 2 sets of parentheses. 2x plus 3 minus 4. That would stay the same. This can be divided by 2, so that's x minus 2 or 1x minus 2. So 2x plus 3 and x minus 2. Okay? 2x plus 3, x minus 2 is what I wrote. Now I want you to look at this. It wouldn't have a GCF, okay? Also, it can't be a DOPS because it doesn't have a second. Sometimes the two terms are not factorable. You would just bring that over. You could do GCF DOPS, but you can't do either one of those. Okay, and then here we got 2x to the second plus 7x plus 6. So GCF and the old table. GCF would be 1, not with x. 2 times 6 is 12, positive. So negative times negative this time, okay? They have to be the same sign. We can always switch them to positive. Add to positive 7. 1 and 12, no. Divide by 2, you get 6, nope. Divide by 3, you get 4. That's negative 7, so to make it plus 7, you go plus plus. Now my A is 2. Okay, so since the A is 2, you're going to have to deal with that with 4 parentheses. So you go 2, 2. Then we're going to go x plus 3, x plus 4. Okay, 2 and 3, you would just divide those by 1, so let's say 2x plus 3. 2 and 4 divide by 2, and that would give you 1x or x plus 2. Try to avoid putting 1's in front of the x's. So that would be 2x plus 3 and x plus 2. So x plus 2, those go away. X minus 2, I got a factor of that down there. 2x plus 3. Another thing, you have 3x minus 2's, but you can only get rid of 2 of them. One top, one bottom. This x minus 2 here will stay. Okay, now you got a 3 on top, and that's it. You can't simplify it, so you just have a 3 on top, and that's the answer. Okay, next one. We've got 5. 8x to the 6th times 4x to the 5th over 3. Now this is going to be a quick one. I don't need to factor. Here's why. 5, that's one term. There's no pluses or minuses within the 4x to the 5th. That's one term. Okay, that's one term and that's one term. So if everything's one term, here's what you're going to do. Okay, multiply the tops. 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, and then x to the 5th. Multiply the bottoms. 8 times 3 is going to be 24. Actually, you're just going to, actually don't do that here. If there's no factoring, because they're all one term, skip the first step. Just put an x through it. So you're going to have 20x to the 5th. And on bottom, 8 times 3 is 24, x to the 6th. Okay, now x 5th, x 6th, you get rid of the smaller and then just subtract from the larger, and that's x to the 1st. So that's on bottom. Now 20 and 24, look at Google a multiplication chart, okay? 20 and 24 would both be in the 4th row. So we divide those both by 4, and I'd get 5 over 6. That's how you do it with all one term. It's actually pretty easy. Now my camera's about to die here. I will go do the other 4 examples in the next video.